111 questions. So here cell theory was formulated by two scientists. They are Singer and Nicholson. So right answer is first one. So we discuss all these things, and now we'll note for contest. Here we will also discuss about this remaining scientists, what their contributions. So here Anton van Leeuwenhoek, about Anton van Leeuwenhoek. So Anton van Leeuwenhoek first observed live cells. He was first person he observed live cells, and he named these live cells as animal. Later these animal cells become bacteria. So likewise he first discovered live cells, and he termed live cells as an animalcule. Why means they moving like animals, and later renamed as bacteria. Hence Anton van Leeuwenhoek he observed these animalcules under his own microscope, simple microscope, and he only invented this simple microscope. Hence he was known as the father of microscope. Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he was known as the father of microscope, and under his own microscope he observed first animalcule, and later which is renamed as bacteria, and that's why he was considered as so father of micro. So here microbiology nothing but study of micro. So here we have different types of microorganisms like bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, and so on. Okay, so this is the contribution of Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Now coming to another scientist, Scleden and Swan. So in this whole contest, a cell theory was formulated by Singer, Scleden and Swan. Here. So I'm highlighting this word, Singer and Scleden and Swan. These two scientists only propose this cell theory. Okay. So the right answer is here third one. Not first one. And now we will discuss what are the contribution of Singer and Nicholson. Here I am writing contribution of Singer and Nicholson. So these two scientists, they developed a model of plasma membrane or cell membrane. So that is fluid mosaic model of, okay, Singer and Nicholson, they developed a plasma membrane model, that is fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane. And one more here, fourth one, Robert Brown. So about Robert Brown here, Robert Brown. So in Robert Brown in 1831 he observed or he discovered nucleus. Very important. He discovered nucleus. Robert Brown discovered nucleus in orchid plant root cells. In orchid plant root cell, Robert Brown discovered nucleus in 1831. So here you also remember Robert Hooke. So he is the first person he observed cells, but he observed dead cells. He dead cell. He observed dead cell and discovered the dead cell in plants. Okay. So this is, and he also wrote one book called Micrographia book. So this is all about the various scientists, their contribution. So in these 311 questions, cell theory was formulated by the who? Scleden and Swan. So right answer. So here Mahadyuth, Scleden and Theodore Swan, they only together discovered cell theory, but this cell theory was later modified by Rudolf Virchow by adding omnis cellula e cellula, means a new cells comes from pre-existing cells. So this is all about the concept of these questions. Okay, right, yes. So next, double one two questions. Okay, so here one two question, which of the following statement related to pituitary gland? Here asking about pituitary gland statement are correct. So here there are four questions are there. It is divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. It secretes follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH. It secretes melanocyte stimulating hormone, MSH. It does not secrete prolactin. So choose the correct answer from the option given below. Okay, let's start some discussion about pituitary glands here. Yeah. So generally here pituitary gland. Yes, pituitary gland. So pituitary gland also known as hypo. This pituitary gland is the smallest and it is a master gland. Smallest and master gland. Because why it is master gland? Because which control each and every glands. Control and coordinate the remain glands. Rest of the endocrine glands. So rest of the endocrine glands like thyroid glands, pancreas glands, all these glands are under the control of pituitary gland. Hence this pituitary gland is also known as master glands. Generally the location of these glands in a cella turcica of sphenoid bones. Sphenoid cranial bones. In we have there is a cavities called sella tertia in which the pituitary glands are located. Now anatomically, the pituitary glands anatomically these pituitary glands are divided into two important parts, like two parts, like here adeno and neuro. Adenohypophysis also called anterior pituitary gland. Neurohypophysis also called posterior pituitary gland. Okay, right. So generally this adenohypophysis is secreted number of hormones, like it secreted gonadotropin hormone like FSH and LH, and also it secrete growth hormone and thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenal cortex hormone ACTH, and also it secrete hormones like simply we can write PRL hormone. So prolactin, adrenal cortex hormones, and thyroid stimulating hormone, growth hormone, and gonadotropin hormone like FSH and LH. All these hormones are secreted from this adenohypophysis part of pituitary glands. Now this neurohypophysis or posterior pituitary gland is secrete two important hormones. So they are oxytocin hormone, oxytocin and prolactin. Oxytocin and vaso. So this vasopressin hormone also called ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Okay. So here one important point here notice there is a pars in generally pars intermediate is a part of adenohypophysis. For example, how hypophysis which is there means like this. So think it is a pituitary gland. This pituitary gland anatomically divided into two parts. See, this is anterior, this one posterior, and there are small part which is present adjacent to the anterior pituitary like this. This small part. This part is called pars intermedia part. Pars inter. So this pars intermedia, it is a part of adeno. Sorry, here I'm. It is a part of adeno. It is a part of adeno, and these pars intermedia is secrete a hormone, and that hormone is very important. M means melanocyte stimulating hormone. So likewise, we have some all these things about only pituitary glands. Now let's get the options here. So it is divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Yes, this statement is right. It secrete follicle stimulating hormone. Yes, here FSH hormone secreted. So this statement is also right. It secrete melanocyte stimulating hormone. Yes, melanocyte stimulating hormone is also secreted here by pars intermedia. Already pars intermedia is a part of adenohypophysis. So that's why this statement is also right. It does not secrete prolactin. No, adenohypophysis secrete prolactin hormone also here, but here in questions not. He mentioned not. So this word make this statement is incorrect. This made statement into incorrect. So we have to choose without D. So see here. So D straight wrong. Why? Because this statement is completely wrong. And where we have again D, B, C, A, B, and A, B, C. Right. So if you remove this, we can eliminate this. Why? Because it contains D. So then we observe these three, in which A, B, C, both three are right. So the answer is fourth one, A, B, C only. The right answer is A, B, C. Why? Because pituitary gland anatomically divided into adenohypophysis, neurohypophysis, and this adenohypophysis secrete FSH hormone, and pars intermediate secrete melanocyte stimulating hormone. Okay, right. So this is all about the 112th questions. The right answer is fourth one. Right answer is fourth. So next one, 103. So which of the following is not a prokaryote? Here not. Okay, not a prokaryotic. Not prokaryotic. We have to choose. And these questions which frame from again biological classification. Biological classification. So once we read these options, mycoplasma, fungi, bacteria, blue green algae. So we have to choose the right one. So that must be not. Okay, that not belongs to prokaryote. Yeah, let's start some explanation about prokaryotes here. Yes, generally prokaryotic organism. The main important characters of these prokaryotic organisms in which nuclear membrane is absent. Hence, the nucleus is called nuclei. Like this, for example, it is a prokaryotic cell in which the chromosomes without nuclear membrane, and this is called nucleate. And this chromosome is the main genome or bacterial chromosome. This main genome or bacterial chromosome is said to be as a genophore. And already we discussed, so there is a extra single circular double stranded chromosome is there. This is called plasmid. Okay. And this prokaryotic organisms, one more important is this bacterial chromosome. That is, the bacterial chromosome is the genetic material. Real genetic material is bacterial chromosomes. Bacterial chromosome. This bacterial chromosome contain what? DNA. So here in prokaryotic organism, DNA is present, but without histone protein. Without histone protein. And this type of nature of organisms are comes under prokaryotic organisms. So these are the two important characteristic feature of prokaryotic organisms. So coming to here, generally these prokaryotic organisms belongs to a kingdom called Monera kingdom. It is a primitive kingdom, and as per R.H. Whittaker 5 kingdom system of classification. As per R.H. Whittaker 5 kingdom system of classification. And he proposed 5 kingdom system of classification. In that he placed first kingdom, that is Monera. And Monera is the only kingdom which has prokaryotic in nature. And the second kingdom is Protista, and then fungi. Then fourth one is Plantae kingdom and Animalia kingdom. Likewise, there are 5 kingdoms are there as per R.H. Whittaker. And Monerans are mostly completely prokaryotic organisms. The rest of the 4 kingdoms like Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia all are having eukaryotic organisms. Okay, fine. Right. Now here we need to focus on these prokaryotic organisms generally has some various groups or various organisms. In that they contain archaea, and they also have eubacteria, archaebacteria and eubacteria. And the third and most important organism which is belongs to prokaryotic organism, that is myco. And one more important group which is belongs to prokaryotic or Monera kingdom, that is actino. And here eubacteria again divided into two subgroups like bacteria and blue algae, also called cyanobacteria. So these all are various groups which belongs to Moneran kingdoms. So Moneran kingdoms are mostly they are prokaryotic organisms. So by this explanation, once we go through here, so mycoplasma is belongs to pro, and bacteria also prokaryote, and blue green algae also prokaryotes. So here these three are 1, 3, 4 all are prokaryotic organisms. But here in questions asking not prokaryote, so that is fungi. So fungi is a special and individual kingdoms as per R.H. Whittaker. So the right answer for 113 question, right answer is second. Why? Because fungi is considered as which is independent kingdom. Okay, fine. So next one, 114 questions. Length of the stem at a time is 20 centimeter. Here at a time. So here we had to write at a time. So means L0 at the time of length is 20 centimeter. The arithmetic growth rate here, arithmetic growth rate is 30 centimeter per day. So here means growth rate we can measure by R, here 30 centimeter per day. And what is the length of the stem at the end of the 7th day? So we have to per day 30 centimeter, and at the end of the 7th day, so what is the length of the stem we have to find out. So generally these questions came from plant growth and development. And in plant growth and development, which is mainly focus on growth rate. Generally there are two types of growth rate we have. One is arithmetic growth rate, and second one is geometric growth rate. So here asking about arithmetic growth rate. So here we have a formula for arithmetic growth rate. So that is LT equal to L0 plus RT. So here LT means, here I am writing, where LT represent length at a time. We have to find length at a time. And here and L0 represent initial length at a time. Initial length. Here initial length is L0 is 20 centimeter, and then R is growth rate. So how much growth rate per day? 30 centimeter per day. So here T time duration. So how many time duration? After 7 days. So if we calculate all these things in this formula, then we have answer like. So here we have to find out length at a time. LT is equal to L0 is 20 centimeter, and here R is growth rate 30 centimeter. Sorry, here plus 20 plus 30 into time is 7 days, like that. So here 20 plus 30 into 70, 7 3 is a 2 1. So 210 plus 20, 230 centimeter. So the right answer is 230 centimeter. first one. 230 centimeter is the first answer. Okay, so 115. Next one. So which of the following is not a part of human central nervous system? CN. So here option pia matter, pericardium, arachnoid, dura matter. Yes, let's start. And these questions ask from human physiology. In human physiology, from neural control and coordination topic. Neural control and coordination. Okay, right. So here generally central nervous systems. Here focusing on central nervous system. Generally, central nervous system in human beings are made up of two important parts. One is brain and the second one is spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. These two parts together called central nervous system. Here about brain, we know that the brain is protected inside the skull. Yes. So brain protect by inside the skull only protect this brain and by a layer called meninges layer or here cranial meninges layer. How means, for example, if you have brain like this here and think this is all about the skull. This region is skull. And this is what brain. So here the skull protect and around the brain there we have meninges. There are some meninges. There are three layer of meninges are present around the brain like this. Two, one more, three. Like that, three meninges. So these meninges which protect the brains are called cranial meninges. Okay. And likewise here spinal cord, about spinal cord, and this spinal cord protected inside the vertebral column bones, protected inside the vertebral column bones. Generally skull has 29 bones. In 29 there are 8 bones are cranial bones. Okay, among 29 skull bones 8 are cranial bones. These cranial bones only protect this brain. And here spinal cord protect inside the vertebral column bones. There are 26 vertebral column bones are there. And here also there is a meninges layer present around the spinal cord. So like, and this meninges layer which is continue from the brain like this around the, and this is a part of spinal cord. So here 1, 2, 3. Now this meninges layer which protect the spinal cord is called spinal meninges. So in spinal meninges, in cranial meninges, there are 3 types of meninges, and these meninges are continue from brain to spinal cord and which protect this brain and spinal cord respectively. And these present inside the brain, present inside the skull, and spinal cord present inside the vertebral column bones. Okay, and now here we have, there are three meninges layer. We need to arrange them from outer to inner. Here we need to arrange outer to inner. How means, for example, the outermost layer are meninges. Here this one. So here we can remember one trick like D is like fertilizers, no? Right. So the outermost layer here, dura mater. Here I am writing dura mater, which is outermost, and here A means arachnoid matter, middle one, and the third is the first, second, third layer, meninges layer is pia mater. So it is the innermost layer of meninges which contact with brain tissues directly. The brain tissues which contact with which meninges means pia mater, from outer to inner. If we in questions, if they ask from inner to outer means like this. Inner to outer means we have to write like this. First pia mater, then arachnoid matter, then dura matter. Okay, fine. Right. So these meninges which protect this brain as well as spinal cord. So here see the options. Here what we need to do. So human central nervous system, which part is not present? So pia matter is a part of central nervous system in meninges, and arachnoid matter also part of central nervous system, and dura matter also part of central nervous system. Means 1, 3, 4, and these 3 are layers of meninges around brain as well as spinal cord. But this pericardium is not a part of central nervous system. So here not is pericardium. So 115th question right answer is second only. Then what about pericardium? So where we have this pericardium. Generally this pericardium is a double membrane sac-like structure. For example, here pericardium. About peri means around, cardium means heart. So the layer which is present around the heart is called pericardium. The layer which is present, or the wall, and here the wall is double wall. So the double wall membrane present or which enclose the heart is called pericardium. For example, how they are enclosed means like this. For example, think, yeah, this is the heart. So heart has 4 chamber, we know that. So these 2 upper chamber and these two lower chamber. This upper chamber also known as auricles or atrium, and these two lower chambers are ventricle. And around this heart there is a wall like this. There is a wall, one and one more double membrane sac-like structures which is present around the heart, and this double membrane structure is nothing but pericardium, and this pericardium which protects the heart. So here in this questions, which is the not part of the central nervous system, means this pericardium. Why? Because pericardium is a part of heart or circulatory systems. Yes. So one more, 116. Which of the following plant growth regulator, PGR, plant growth regulators promote internode elongation prior to flowering in cabbage? So these questions which frame from plant growth and development, so especially which focus on phytohormones. Which phytohormones they are promote focus means plant growth regulators. So generally we have three important phytohormones. They act as plant growth regulator like auxin and gibber, and one more is cyto. So these three phytohormones are considered to be as a plant growth regulator, and the rest of the two hormones, phytohormones like abscisic acids and ethylene. So these two are plant growth inhibitor hormone. Here these two are plant growth inhibitor hormone, but these three are auxin, gibberellin, cytokinins are plant growth regulator hormone. So here asking about plant growth regulator. So we can remove this. If there is a option is there, abscisic acid is we can easily can remove. So abscisic acid is there, so hence we can remove. Ethafen is nothing but it is a modified form of ethylene. The available form of ethylene in the form of ethafen. So also we can remove these two. Why? Because these two are plant growth inhibitors, plant growth inhibitor hormones. So then we have only two options, 1 and 4. Let's start what exactly this internode elongation and what we call. Yeah. So here generally the gibberellic acid, here gibberellic acid which promote a process called bolting, very important, BOL, bolting process. So the important role of gibberellic acid promote bolting. Here bolting means simple internode elongation just prior to flowering is called bolting. So this bolting generally occur in which plant, generally which is occur means in rosette habitat plants. In rosette habitat plants only this bolting process will occur, and this influenced by this phytohormone called gibberellic acid. So rosette habitat plants like means wheat plant and cabbage plants. Okay, so the right answer here, gibberellic acids is the as phytohormones which play important role to promote bolting process. Yes. So here one more MCQs 117. Sorry. So match the following questions. So in list one asking about different types of placentation. Here examples. So choose the correct answer. Okay, fine. Right. So these questions which is from morphology of flowering plant. Sorry, morphology of flowering plants. In morphology of flowering plants, focus on placent types. Okay. First we'll discuss what exactly mean of placentation. Here placentation means the arrangement of ovules. Here placentation means arrangements of ovules within ovary is called placentation. So here arrangement of ovules within ovary is called placentation. So here NCERT specify mainly four important placentation types. In that first one, most important is marginal placentation. So this marginal placentation generally seen in Fabaceae plants like pea plant. Pea or Fabaceae or Legumaceae plant. Legumaceae family plants. Now second one is axial placentation. So this axial placentation generally seen in China rose, and also which is seen in tomato and lemon. Now coming to third one, parietal placentation, and this parietal placentation which are seen in like mustard and argemone. And the last and most important, that is central placentation, and which is seen in dianthus and primrose. So these are the different types of placentation we have. And one more placentation is also there, that is basal placentation, and these basal placentations are generally seen in males. Okay, so likewise we have different types of placentation. So here, so now let's start some math the following here. So marginal placentations are generally seen in pea plant, means for A is fourth one. Axial placentations are generally seen in tomato, not only tomato, also China rose and lemon, but here option is tomato, hence B is 2. Parietal placentation which is seen in argemone. and not only argemone, mustard also. Okay, right. Argemone here given, that's why first one. Three central presentations are seen in prime rows. Not only prime rows, dianthus also. Prime rows. So D is third one. So 4, 4, 2, 1, 3. 4, 2, here 4, 2, 1, 3. So right answer is second one. So here second one is the right answer for this MCQs. Yes. So 118 questions. Which of the following plant growth regulator, PGR? Here one more questions from PGR. Is used as herbicide. Very important. PGR. So same. These questions which is framed from topic plant growth and development. In plant growth and development, they focus on phyto. In phytohormones, mainly focus on plant growth regulators. So just now we discussed there are three important plant growth regulators hormones are there, like auxin and gibberellic acid and cyto. So here we mostly use herbicides as a auxins. So let's start some importance of auxins with related to this MCQs only. Do you know auxin is the first discovered phytohormone? Remember, auxin is the first discovered phyto. And do you know the auxin is a triple precursor, and zinc is very essential for the synthesis of auxin. Okay, stop. And auxins are already I have made a video on auxins. Please watch this video in my YouTube channel. And here types of auxins. Generally, there are two types of auxins. One is natural type of auxins, and second one is artificial or synthetic auxins. So in natural there are two types, like they are indole acetic acid, IAA, and one more is IBA, indole butyric acids. Here IAA means indole acid, here IB means indole acid. So this indole acetic acid and indole butyric acid both are natural type of auxin. Now coming to artificial or synthetic auxins, there we have three different types of auxins which is mentioned as per NCERT. So here naphthalene acetic acids, NAA means nap acid, and one more is 2,4D and 2,4,5T. So here 2,4D means 2,4 acid, acetic acid. Here 2,4,5T means 2,4,5 trichloro acetic acids. Likewise, we have three different types of artificial auxin. So among these three artificial auxins, 2,4,D and 2,4,5, these two are used as herbicides, or also we can use weedicides, means which kills herbs or weeds. And remember, and which kill herbs and weeds only very important. So this widely used only to kill this dicotyledon weeds, only to kill the dicotyledon weeds only they kill dicotyl. And this means 2,4D, 2,4,5, 2,4,5T both are work as herbicides or weedicides, and which kill only dicotyledon plants weeds. Okay, remember, it doesn't work on monocotyledon weeds, it only works on dicotyledon weeds. So this is all about the types of auxins. So once you go through here, and in options there are different options are given. In that first and most important, abscisic acid is given. Generally abscisic acid not play any role in herbicides, and abscisic acid is a plant growth inhibitor hormone. So gibberellin, it does not play any role in weedicides, and it is a plant growth regulator hormone. Now coming to 2,4D, here we have kinetin is a form of cytokinin hormone. Cytokinin also plant growth regulator. So the right answer is 2,4D. The 2, is given, and this 2,4. If in option 2,4, D not there, if it is there, is there, if the presence of 2,4,5T, and that also the right answer. Okay, so in options there is a provide of 2,4D. So right answer is 2, 4, dichlorophenoxyacetic acid is the right answer for this 118 questions. Right answer is third options is the right answer. Okay, so this is all about the important concepts related to the phytohormone, in that auxins, in types of auxins. Okay, so which auxin used as a herbicide means both 2,4D, 2,4,5. So that's it. Good morning everyone. 104. Here which of the following statement is incorrect? They are asking incorrect statement. So first we need to read these options. So fibrinogen is produced from fibrin. Blood coagulates in response to injury. Blood clot consists of fibrins. So here we have 4 options, we have to choose incorrect. And generally these questions came from human physiology topic. Human physiology. In human physiology, this topic is framed from body fluids and circulation topic. Body fluid and circulation. So in body fluid and circulation, which is completely framed from the blood coagulation process. Let's discuss some explanation regarding this statement. Yeah. So here, when injury occur, here I am writing. So when injury occur, blood clots to prevent excessive blood loss. So generally, when injury occur, naturally, blood clots will be happen to prevent excessive blood loss. How actually this process is occur in human body, we will discuss. Generally, in human blood plasma, there are some blood clotting factors are present. In that, two blood clotting factors play important role. So they are like pro and one more blood clotting factor, that is fibrinogen, prothrombin and fibrino. And these two blood clotting factors, see these two are what? Blood plasma, blood clotting factors present in blood plasma. Yes, these two are both are inactive form of blood plasma clotting factor. Both are inactive form. They are present in inactive form only. So to clot the blood, this blood inactive form of blood must be clotting factor must be active form. So for that, first here what happened here, in which first prothrombin, very important. Prothrombin is an inactive form of blood plasma protein. It is an inactive form, and it converted into active form of clotting factor, that is thrombin. So here, so thrombin is active form. So this inactive form of prothrombin converted into active form of thrombin in presence of enzyme. The enzyme is called prothrombinase enzyme. Here very important. Pro enzyme, or also we can write another name, thrombo enzyme. So in presence of this prothrombinase or thrombokinase enzyme, the inactive form of prothrombin converted into active form of thrombin. Later, this thrombin helps in conversion of fibrinogen, another inactive form of blood plasma protein, that is fibrinogen. It is also inactive form of plasma protein, and it is a soluble. It is soluble plasma protein. Inactive form, or also it is soluble. And this inactive form of blood plasma protein, that is fibrinogen, converted into active form of, that is fibrin, active form of fibrin. So here fibrin is active form, and it is in fibrin is insoluble. So this conversion of inactive form of fibrinogen into active form of fibrin in presence of this thrombin, very important. So thrombin play important role to conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. So likewise, this fibrin active form or insoluble plasma proteins will produce here. Now here this fibrin, now this fibrin play important role, here I am writing. Now these fibrin, generally fibrin, how these fibrins are present means, here I am writing. So these fibrin clots are generally formed by this fibrin. Why? Because which is present a network of thread-like structures. Fibrins are generally appear like a network of thread-like structures. A network of thread-like structures, and this network of thread-like structure, generally fibrin, is play important role to clot the blood. Here, who play important role to clot the blood means this network thread-like structures of fibrin, and it is active form or it is a insoluble. And how it clot the blood means this fibrin. Generally, this fibrin, here I am writing, this fibrin, in which, why? Because it is a clot-like structure. It is a thread and it is a network of clot-like structures. So like this we have. So in which, in fibrin, in which what happened, in which dead and damaged formed elements, here I am writing, in which, in network of thread-like structure fibrin, in which what happened, dead or damaged formed elements. Here formed elements are nothing but they are platelets, blood cells, are also platelets, also called thrombocytes. So in fibrin, these dead or damaged formed elements are platelets or threads. They are trapped, in which they are in this network. They are trapped. They are trapped. If they are trapped in this network-like structures, simply they form a clot. If they clot, it prevent excess blood loss. So this is what actually happen in this blood coagulation factors. So by analyzing all these things, once we can read this one here, in questions they are asking choose the incorrect statement. Okay, incorrect statement we have to choose. So if we read first one, fibrin is produced from fibrinogen. Yes, here see, fibrin is produced from fibrinogen, means this statement is right. Yes, statement is right. Here fibrinogen, this fibrinogen is produced from fibrin. No, this statement is wrong. This second statement is wrong. Okay, this second statement is wrong. Here not fibrinogen is produced from fibrin asking. Generally fibrin produced from fibrinogen, not fibrin produced from fibrinogen. Means second statement is wrong. Here blood coagulation occur in response to injury only. So when blood coagulation occur in blood vessel means only in response to injury. When injury occur, in that situation only blood coagulation will occur. So third statement is right. Blood clot consists of fibrins. Yes. So generally in blood clot which molecules play important role means fibrin only. Why? Because it is a network of thread-like structure in which only dead and damaged formed elements, platelets are trapped. So it helps to clot the blood. Okay. So in that, for that, blood clot consists of fibrins. So this statement is right. This one also right. And here first one also right. But second answer is wrong. So here 104 questions the right answer. Here incorrect statement. So that's why second is right answer. Okay. Right. Now we move on. Yes. So one more important MCQs 105 here. Spinopsida class belongs to. So these questions frame from plant kingdom. So in plant kingdom, which is completely framed from the pteridophyte classification. Pterido plant group. Pteridophyte classification. Yes. So let's discuss about some explanation on pterido. Generally, in pteridophytes, we know that it is the first vascular plant, means they contain true root, true stem, true leaf, and they only contain first vascular tissue system, means they contain xylem and phloem. Everything we have. We also made a video on this pteridophyte. Please watch it. And here in this scenario, we need to discuss what exactly this Spinospida and from where it came. So in pteridophyte classification, so as per NCERT, pteridophytes are classified into mainly 4 classes. Like first and the primitive pteridophyte class is called Psilopsida. Here I am writing primitive, it is Psilopsida. And the second one Lycopsida. Next third one Spinopsida. And the last and advanced pteridophyte plant group is Pteropsida. So likewise we have 4 classes in pteridophyte plant group. So for example for Psilospida is like Psilotum. Example Psilotum. Here example for Lycospida, Lyco and Salagi. And example for Spinospida, Equiseta. And example for Pterospida, here we have Dryopteris and Pteris and Edians. So these are the example for Pterospida, and it is the advanced plant group in pteridophyte. It is an advanced pteridophyte group, and Psilospida is the primitive group. So likewise, so here in question Spinospida is belongs to the Spinospida third group. Spinospida example Equisetum, which belongs to. So here pteridophyte means the right answer is pteridophyte. So this one. Yes. Now coming to one more important MCQs, that is 106. So here match the list 1 and list 2. So in list 1 giving shape of the different bacteria, here spherical shapes, rod, comma, spirillum. Here in list 2 giving the example. Okay. So choose the correct answer. Here we need to choose the correct answer from the option given below. Okay. So we'll discuss 106 questions here. Yes. So this 106 questions which came from biological classification, especially bacterial shape. Yeah. So 106 question from biological classification topic. Biological classification. So in biological classification, this question frame from shape of the bacteria, means bacterial shape. Okay, we'll discuss in detail here. Just wait. Yeah. Okay. According to NCERT, bacteria are grouped based on 4 structural shapes. Structural shape. Like here I am writing. Bacteria has spherical shapes, means round shape, like this. Spherical shape. Such bacteria are called coccus, or in singular we call cocci. The bacteria has rod shape, means like this. Rod shaped bacteria. Such bacteria are called bacillus, or simply bacilli. If bacteria has comma shape, like this, comma shaped bacteria. Such bacteria are called Vibrium, or also called Vibrio. And one more important structural group, that is spiral shapes. Bacteria has spiral, like this, spiral shapes. Such bacteria are called spirillum. Here Vibrium, here spirillum. So or simply we can spirilla bacteria. So likewise, so as based on structural shapes, the bacteria are classified into 4 important groups. So here we need to match this list 1 and list 2. So spherical bacteria is called here A is 2, and a rod shaped bacteria is called bacilli. B is 4, and comma shaped bacteria are called vibrio. C is 1, and spirillum is 4th, third. So 2 4, sorry, yeah, 2 4 1 third, 2 here, 2 4 1 third. So right answer is second one. Yes. So we move on. So next one, 107. So which of the following are characteristic of prokaryotic cells? Here asking characteristic of prokaryotic cells. Okay. So here we have 4 options, A, B, C, D questions, and choose the correct one. Correct answer below. So first once we read, ribosomes are made up of 50S and 30S subunits. They can have plasmids. They contain mesosomes. They have peroxisome. Okay, right. So these questions are framed from cell. Yeah, this question framed from cell is the unit of life. So in this, these questions focus on prokaryotic cell features. Yeah. So now we will discuss some importance of these things. So here generally prokaryotic cells, you know that the prokaryotic cells does not have any nuclear membrane around each. Nuclear membrane is absent. Hence, the nucleus of the prokaryotic cell organisms are called nuclei, and these prokaryotic organisms mostly bacteria and belongs to kingdom called Monera kingdom. Generally, this in bacterial cell structure, if we have like this bacteria cell structure, and outermost cell structure is cell wall, which is made up of with peptidoglycan, and this cell wall is made up of with peptido, and these peptidoglycans are made up of with two important chemical. They are NAG and NAM. We discuss all this NAG and NAM in biomolecular studies. Please watch that. And below the cell wall, here we have membrane called cell membrane or plasma membrane. And there are various appendages which comes like flagellum and cilia. Okay, so pili, like that we have different appendages which is arise from the cell membrane of bacteria. Okay, fine. And this bacteria contain the real chromosomes, the main genome of this bacteria. Here main genome is are bacterial chromosomes. This main genome or bacterial chromosomes contain, and also called the main genome of this bacteria is called genophore. Very important, genophore. So along with this main bacterial genome, there are extra chromosomal circular single stranded DNA is present here like this. So circular double stranded single, okay, and self replicating. Now this structure is called plasmids. So plasmid. So here plasmid is a plasmid. It is a, here I am writing. It is a single and it is circular and double stranded DNA, and it is a extra chromosome. Why? Because already the main chromosome is there and it is act as a extra chromosome. Extra chromosomes, and these extra chromosomes of DNA helps in help as a vector, and we hence we can use this plasmid in genetic engineering or RDNA technology. Okay, fine. And along with these two important structure, there are some the only cell organelles which is present in prokaryotic cell, that is ribosomes. So rest of the cell organelles are absent. So mostly prokaryotic cells are bacteria that do not contain cell organelles except to ribosomes. See, except to ribosome. So ribosome is the only cell organelle which is present in the prokaryotic cell, that is bacteria. But in prokaryotic cell, the ribosome is 70S type of ribosomes are there. 70S type of ribosome. And remember, the 70S type of ribosomes also present in eukaryotic cells. Also present in eukaryotic cell, where in mitochondria, the 70S type of ribosomes are seen. In eukaryotic, here I am talking about eukaryotic, and even in chloroplast also, the 70S type of ribosomes are present. Okay, fine. And these 70S type of ribosomes are divided into two. It has two subunits. One is larger subunit and smaller subunit. So larger subunit always has 50S and smaller subunit has 30S. Okay, right. And very important structures, this prokaryotic cell, that is bacteria, there is some extensions like extension or invagination of plasma membrane or cell membrane. Here this plasma membrane, no? This one. So from this plasma membrane there are some extensions or invagination like these structures, like this plasma membrane gets some extension or invagination here. So this extension of plasma membrane very important. Here I am writing this extension of this or invagination of plasma membrane. Here I am writing extension or invagination of plasma membrane of bacteria is said to be as a very important, that is mesosomes. Now these mesosomes play important role or to perform various important role, like it helps in, here I am writing, it play important role in respiration. Why? Because generally respiration role performed by the mitochondria, but here in prokaryotic cell mitochondria absent. So instead of that, so these mesosomes play important role for performing respiration, so that by respiration they get energy in the form of ATP. And also it perform DNA replication process here only. DNA they perform DNA replication, respiration, and also they very important, they helps to formation of the cell wall, helps to formation of cell wall synthesis. So these are the important functions which is carried by these mesosomes. So this mesosome, and these mesosomes are nothing but it is an extension or invagination of plasma membrane. Okay, so all these things we have on prokaryotic cell, that is bacteria. So once we analyze, once again we analyze these questions here. Ribosomes are made up of 50s and 30s subunit. Yes, here 50s and 30s subunits. So total 70s sub type of ribosomes are present in prokaryote. Remember, and 70 type of ribosomes also present in eukaryotic cell. In eukaryotic, especially in mitochondria and chloroplast. Okay, fine. So this statement is right. And they can have plasmid. Yes, here see. So this structure is called plasmids. Here plasmids. So what is plasmid means? Here plasmid are single, circular, double-stranded DNA, and it is extra chromosomal DNA, and they used as a vector in genetic engineering and recombinant DNA technology. Yes, this statement is also right. They contain mesosomes. Yes, just now we discussed here. See, here we have mesosomes. Mesosomes are extension or invagination of plasma membrane. Means this statement is also right. And they have peroxisome. So here we don't have any peroxisome structure in here. Only eukaryotic cells contain peroxisome. So we need to choose correct answer. Means here D is wrong na. So A B C is right. So here once you choose A B C only. So second answer is right. A B C only right answer for these questions. Okay, one more MCQs 108 here. Sorry, 108. So smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So these questions frame from, here I am writing this question from cell. Again, cell, the unit of life. So these questions mainly focus on one cell organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum cell organelle. First we will read these questions, what the type of questions they are asking. So here smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it is actively involved in protein synthesis. It is a site for the synthesis of carbohydrate, has ribosomes attached to its surface. It is a major site for the synthesis of lipids. So these are the four options. Let's start with function of endoplasmic reticulum. So already we made a important video on endoplasmic reticulum, each and detailed videos. So please watch this video in my channel. And here I am explaining about, and these questions which frame only from function now. That's why I will explain only endoplasmic reticulum functions. Yeah. So here generally endoplasmic reticulum divided into two types based on presence or absence of ribosomes. So in eukaryotic, generally we have ATS type of ribosome, very important. ATS type of ribosomes. If ribosomes are present, they can, if their ribosomes is present, they are called rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic. If ribosomes are absent, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So rough endoplasmic reticulum contain ribosomes, but here in smooth endoplasmic reticulum do not contain ribosomes. So due to presence of these ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum, so obviously they helps in synthesis of protein. Why? Because ribosomes are the protein factory. So synthesis of protein role was performed by this rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. So due to absence of ribosomes, here they appear like a smooth, and they play important role in synthesis of lipids, and very important also in animal, they helps in synthesis of steroidal hormone. Steroidal hormone synthesis was played by this smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So once we observe, it is active. Here asking about only smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Remember SCR. So we focus only this area. It is actively involved in protein synthesis. No, this statement is wrong. Why? Because who actively involved in protein synthesis? Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Is a site for the synthesis of carbohydrate? No, this statement is also wrong. Has ribosome attached to its surface? No. Smooth endoplasmic do not contain ribosomes. Hence, it is wrong. And what is the right answer here? Has the ribosome attached to the surface means? this rough endoplasmic reticulum. But in questions asking about smooth endoplasmic reticulum, so in that this question is wrong. It is a major site for the synthesis of lipid. Very important. See here. So this one right answer. So smooth endoplasmic reticulum play important role for the synthesis of lipids here. See lipid, and not only lipids, also play important role in synthesis of in animal steroidal hormone synthesis. Okay. So 108. The right answer is fourth one. Yes. Next one 9. So here statement type of questions. Two statement here given. So read once. Statement 1. When any plane passing through a central axis. Sorry, one not 9. We will discuss. Okay. So next one 109. So read the two statement type of questions here. Statement 1. The class name Reptilia refers to creeping and crawling mode of locomotion. Statement 2. All organisms belonging to Reptilia have three-chambered heart. In the light of the above statement, choose the most appropriate answer from the option given below. Okay, let's start some discussion. Yes, here. So these questions frame from animal kingdom. So in animal kingdom, which is focused in a special class called Reptilia. Sorry, Reptilia. Okay, so sorry, what happened? Yeah, Reptilia. Generally, literally, the class Reptilia refers what? Literally, Reptilia refers to creeping or crawling. Means the organism which having locomotion like creeping or crawling. Such organisms are placed in a class called Reptilia. So in literal meaning of Reptilia, and based on their locomotion, they classified into a separate class called Reptilia. Means they having creeping and crawling mode of locomotion. Right. So, and here we need to discuss about chamber of the reptilia, heart chamber. So here generally reptilia organism, reptilia has three chambered heart. Very important. Three chambered heart only. Three chamber. In that two atrium only one ventricle is there. Two atrium one ventricle like this. For example, it is the heart. So here we have above portion, upper chamber of the heart are always called atrium, and below is ventricles. So ventricles and atrium 1 2 and ventricle is 1. So likewise we have three chamber of heart. And exception, one exception is there in reptilia, that is crocodiles. This crocodile is belongs actually crocodile belongs to reptilia class, but this crocodile has four chamber of heart. Very important. Four chamber of heart like human being like this. So this consists of two upper chamber and two lower chamber. Means two atrium is there and two ventricle is there. So like four chambers of heart are present in reptilia. Okay. So we know that in mammals, not only mammals, in different chordates classes like fishes has only two chamber of heart, one atrium, one ventricles. And fishes later amphibians. So amphibians has three chamber of heart. Means one two atrium, one ventricles. Reptile also has three chamber. Amphibian and reptile both are having three chamber of heart. But exception this crocodile has four chamber. And later after reptiles, then aves or birds has four chamber of heart. Then mammals also has four chamber of heart. So finally here and finally fishes has two chamber of heart here, two chamber, and amphibians has two chamber, and reptile has three chamber. Okay. And even birds like aves have four chamber of heart, and mammals have four chamber of heart. But remember, in reptile mostly three chamber of heart present, but exception crocodile, it has four chamber. Remember this one. So here in statement and the class name Reptilia refers creeping and crawling mode of locomotion. Yes, statement 1 is right. Why? Because Reptilia class generally plays because of their mode of locomotion like creeping and crawling. So statement 1 is right. And statement 2, all organisms belonging to Reptilia have three chamber of heart. Here asking all. So not all. Mostly Reptilia has three chamber of heart. But here in question statement 2 asking all. So all organisms belong to reptilia have three chamber of heart. So we need to choose most appropriate answer from the given below. So here statement 1 is right. Here choose statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Yes, why? Because not all, na? Only most of the reptilia has three chamber. Okay, right. So statement 1 is right answer, in which statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Means statement 2 is incorrect because of here in statement 2 asking about all. If most organisms belong to reptile have three-chambered heart means then this statement 2 is also right. But due to this all word make this statement wrong. This due to all word make this statement complete statement become wrong. Okay, right. Yes. So here 110th questions. In frog, the number of pairs of cranial nerves arising from the brain. Yeah. So these questions came from animal kingdom. In animal kingdom, they focus in on frog. So especially in frog, they focus on nervous system of frog. Nervous system. So here, generally in frog nervous systems, here I am writing. Frog nervous systems are made up of two important components. One is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system of frog include like brain and spinal cord. So here there are some nerves which arise from the brain. The nerves from brains are called cranial nerves, and the nerves which arise from the spinal cord, they are called spinal nerves. And there are 10 pairs of cranial nerves which arise from the brain, and there are 10 pairs of spinal nerves which arise from the spinal cord. So total 10 plus 10 pair, total 20 pair of nerves which arise from the central nervous system. So these 20 pairs of nerves which arise from this central nervous system to become peripheral nervous system. So here the frog peripheral nervous system contains 20 pairs of nerves, in which 10 pair of spinal nerves and 10 pair of cranial nerves. Fine. So here right answer is 10 pair of cranial nerves arising from the brain. Such nerves are called cranial nerves. So here we need to discuss one important in human being or including mammals, how this nerve system will arise. We will discuss. Yeah. So here mammals including human being, human nervous system has two important components like central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system of human beings or mammals made up of with two important components like brain and spinal cord. And there are 12 pairs of nerves which arise from the brain. Such nerves are called cranial nerves. The nerves which arise from the brain are called cranial nerves. How many pair? 12 pair. Remember, in mammals or in human beings, there are 12 pairs of nerves which arise. But in frog, how many? 10 pairs of cranial nerves. But in human being, 12 pairs. Okay, fine. And here, there are 31 pairs of nerves which arise from the spinal cord. Such nerves are called spinal nerves. Such nerves are called spinal nerves. So total 12 plus 31 pairs of nerves together called 43 pairs of peripheral nervous system. So likewise, the peripheral nervous system contain 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So like 30 total 43 pairs of nerves are present in peripheral nervous systems. And remember these 31 pairs of nerve systems which divided into different parts like how means. So in which cervical region we have 8 nerves, cervical nerves, and then thoracic region has 12 pair of nerves, and then lumbar region has 5, and then sacral region also has 5, and coaxial region has only 1 nerve. So if you count means 8, 12, 20, 25, 30, 31. So likewise 31 pairs of spinal nerves which arise from the different region of the spinal cord. And sometimes they confuse with the vertebral column formula, vertebral column bones. Generally in human being there are 26 vertebral column bones are present, and they form like a vertebra or backbone. So and this formula here, and in which first at cervical bone we have only 7. At cervical region we have only 7 vertebra, and the thoracic vertebra 12, and lumbar region we have lumbar bones 5, and sacral 1 and coaxial 1. So likewise 7, 12, 19, and here 5, 24, 25, 26. So like that there are 26 vertebral columns bones are there, and these 26 vertebral column bones are arranged in C7, T12, L5, S1, CO, coaxial bone 1. But the spinal nerves which arrange like this, there are total 31 pairs. How means C8, T12, L5, S5, CO1. Okay, right. This is the extra information. Yes. So for 110 questions, the right answer is 10 pairs of what? Cranial nerves which arise from the brain. But frog has 20 pairs of peripheral nervous system. It include 10 pairs of cranial nerves, 10 pairs of spinal nerves. So this is all about the frog nervous systems. Now, yes. So next one, triple one questions. Cell theory was formulated by. Here, these questions frame from cell, the unit of life, and they mainly focus on cell theory. So here, before reading all the scientist name, let's start some importance of this cell theory, how they are formed. Generally, the cell theory was formulated by two important scientists. In that first one, Matthews Cleiden in 1838. So he was a German botanist, and one more scientist, Theodor Van. Theodor in 1839, 1 year later, and he was the British zoologist. So both are jointly together explained cell theory, propose or formulated cell theory. And as per their cell theory, they propose every living organisms are made up of with cell. So they said every living organisms are made up of with cell. And cell is the basic. They also said this theory also explained every organisms made up of with cell, and this cell is the basic unit of life. But they did not. These two scientists, they did not explain from where a new cells will generate. So later, the one more scientist, and he came, and he's a Rudolf Virchow. In Rudolf Virchow in 1855, he explained. He only explained a new cells comes from free cells, and he said omnis cellula e cellula, and it means that a new cell comes from the free existing cell. Like that, he modified the cell theory into cell lineage theory, or it is a modern theory of cells. Okay, so thank you.